you mentioned Jason Long, who is I was like,
Justin Long.
or Justin Long. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Because I recognize the name. Is this guy? This is the
Yeah,
fucking
you
guy.
can be
And this,
Jason.
and
I
now
can
that
say
I'm gonna transition a bit to the Jonah Hill anecdote you shared.
okay.
So you were partying, and how old were you at the time that this happened?
Dude, honestly, I don't know if I was 16 yet.
So you,
I might have been 15 turning 16.
okay, so were you working on Zoe, or was this
No,
after?
this was
Okay.
after.
And so
So
were you still trying to work? Were you still trying to
I
be
was
an actor?
working.
You were
I
working.
was working nonstop. I was doing like a more drama, like, cold cases and CSIs and shows like that.
So they did not, in fact, make sure you never worked again.
I worked again. No, Brittany didn't end up canceling me.
Well, it sounded
She
like,
didn't.
yeah, it sounded like some of the producers wanted to, though.
They did. And I ended up getting a little bit canceled later. It's a little bit harder for me now to put a foot into the industry after a lot of my advocacy work, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that for some.
Yeah.
So
Okay, it's worth it.
so of course you're doing the right thing. What's better than that?
Yeah, nothing.
Being rich, famous.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
It would be nice to get paid for, doing the good things,
Yeah, yeah, it would be nice, huh?
right?
So you're at Justin Long's house. You're friends with him?
Yes.
How did you end up over at his
No,
house?
that was the first time. Okay, so I was actually filming my show last night. I have this show coming out called like E Predators Daily, and I was explaining a little bit of the story. But basically, what happened was I was hanging out with my friend. I'm not going to disclose her name, obviously, for privacy reasons. She had like a nice BMW Z3 convertible, and we were driving on Outpost. And I remember she wanted to go and hang out with the tool bag predator from CSI Miami, Jonathan Togo or something. I don't know what the hell his name is. But anyways, she was
This guy.
hooking up with this guy.
So
Yeah,
who's
show
this
me.
guy? So
That guy.
okay,
That was Justin's roommate.
okay. And what was
That
he
was
doing at the time? The CSI stuff?
No, yeah, he was doing CSI Miami,
Okay.
which by the way I ended up being on. I'll say a bit of that interaction afterwards. But anyways, she was seeing him at the time, but she was underage. And like I think he was like almost 30. So that
Huh?
was
Wait, how
yes.
old is he?
I don't know. I think he was like I think Justin was around his mid 20s when we
He's
were there.
45 now, so yeah, that tracks.
Wow. Yeah. So they were a lot older.
So he
And
was,
so
yeah,
back
a lot
then,
older.
a lot older. And so she was seeing him, I think she was 16 or 17
Justin is
at
also
the time.
45 now, so they were like, these are like men, grown ass men.
They were grown ass men.
'Cause as you were telling that story, I was imagining you guys were kind of contemporaries, but that's not the case.
Not, no, 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 not at all. I was like 15 turning 16, and then they were all like, living in a duplex in LA and
Wow.
like had established careers.
Okay.
And so yeah, so I remember we were on the way to his place and she was like, they're inviting you over. And while she was like on the phone with them or something, we ended up getting a flat tire on Outpost. And we had to pull over and we didn't think we were going to be able to go. And you know what the dudes actually, the bros ended up telling us? They were like, you can make it down the hill. It's only like 15 minutes down the
Just cruise
hill.
down in neutral.
It was like
That's
literally
awesome. That's chivalry.
It, they didn't even offer to come
That's
and
the
like
best.
help us out. I don't mean to laugh, but it's just like, wow, looking back at that, it's fucked up. So, anyways, they were like, you can make it. And so we like made it, dude. We went.
Oh, you did. You cruised down in neutral.
5 miles
Okay,
per
that's
hour.
badass.
5 miles per hour to get to this place, and to Justin Longdong's place. And I'm
Justin
like,
Longdong.
oh. And I was like, okay. So we're driving, it's like 5 miles per hour down Outpost. And I just hear the rim starting. I remember the rim was like hitting the ground, and you're like, is this worth it? Like, is this worth it? It really wasn't worth it. But we get to the bottom of the hill. We finally get to the place and we arrive and nobody was there yet. It was actually just Justin and this Togo dude. And I remember she went into the bedroom with Togo and I was left in the living room with Justin.
And so you're saying that this this 30-year-old dude Togo was having a sexual relationship with your underage friend.
Which is sexual assault.
And it's statutory rape as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah. Oh,
Why
and
would they
Justin's
do
just
that?
there. That was you have no
It's
idea
just
how
like,
hyper.
why would you even do that? Like, you can have sex with of age girls. Why would you do
consensual.
that? Yeah,
Wait, you guys should
age consensual. Yeah, it's like, why? Golly.
You should hear the Punked episode where Justin's literally ordering a drink for maybe a girl who's underage, and he's like, "Yeah, she's of age, consensual." It's like, bro, you're not getting accused of anything. He said that on camera. It's like, bro, you're not getting accused of anything.
That's
you're
badass.
Literally, it's ridiculous. Anyways, so I'm like in the living room, I'm talking to this guy. Remember, he puts a vinyl on. He's that kind of guy in LA, which is fine. There's a lot of guys in LA. And so he puts on the vinyl, and I remember he asked me if I wanted a drink. I said yes. Now we're starting to drink. We're talking. Drinks go by, and then people started to arrive, a couple of people. And one of them was Jonah.
No, you're a 15-year-old drinking. Have you drank before? This is something you're used to doing?
I drank. Like, I would sneak out sometimes to my mom's. Like, I think that night, actually, like, my mom thought I was sleeping over at, a friend's house. But really, I was out, and living in LA, when you sneak out, you can sneak out into some serious trouble without your parents knowing. And so a lot of people like to blame my mom, but like, my mom really didn't know. I was like a teenager in Los Angeles with access to getting into bars and clubs, at that time. It was a really different, anyways, that was LA in like whatever 2008.
Okay.
All the bars would let me in.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Me. Never ID'd me. So,
Dude,
anyways, Jonah comes in. I remember he starts like smoking weed, like rolling a joint or something. And I'm sitting there. I know kind of who he is. I honestly didn't know him that well because I think it was just Superbad. This is like very early.
This is right after Superbad, Jonah Hill?
I think so.
Okay.
When did that come out? Like, it must have been around the same time.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like it was.
Superbad came out 2007.
Okay, so yeah, it was like a year after.
So that movie was a big deal. I mean, I remember seeing that and thinking Jonah Hill was awesome after that.
Totally.
After that came out, yeah.
He was like kind of the it kid during that time, like accepted.
Yes.
And
by the way, I pulled this clip of Justin getting the drink for the underage girl.
Get the of age consensual in there.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'll try that. Yeah.
You guys are all of age, right?
Of age, yes.
Yeah.
Consensual.
Him too?
Of age, consensual. Why did you say that, you weird little fucker? Of age, consensual. Yo, what the fuck does that mean, bro? Hold on, one more time.
Cranberry. Okay.
Dude, that's kind of insane that they set him up to like commit a crime.
They did, and also
they're like, "Yo, will he buy these underage girls alcohol?" Was that the experiment?
He will. Yeah, he will, and he did.
Oh, dude, that's cutthroat.
Yeah, he did it.
Will Justin have sex with this underage girl?
Dude, Jonah's right next to him in this.
I gotta hear this one more time.
I'll just get one of these Asian pear things.
Oh, hold on.
Okay. I'll just get a Grey Goose and some drinks right now.
Wait, was that Jonah next to him?
Yeah.
Yes, that's Jonah.
Oh.
Yeah, you see what's going on here?
He's under a bad influence. I hate to say it.
He's
getting the Justin Schlong Hollywood handbook.
Sorry.
Can I start you guys off with some drinks right now? Sounds good. I'll just get a Grey Goose and cranberry. Okay? Do you know you want?
I'll just get one of these.
Did I miss it again? Damn it.
I think so. Wait, no, I feel like it's after this.
It's really weird.
Oh.
It's after this.
Sorry.
Okay, whatever. Oh, wait, I have the timestamp. Let me just pull that one up again. Because I don't want to get claimed, so I'm trying to show as little as possible.
I know you guys are having drinks, so... Ladies, can I have your...
Oh, this is another timestamp.
This is another timestamp. Yeah.
Oh, they come to ID?
You should listen.
Yo,
you should listen to this part.
This alone, though, shows you how different the world is now, how we perceive this stuff. Like, at the time, this was just a funny joke.
Right.
He was trying to get these young girls drunk. Like, haha.
Yeah, even like films, like Superbad, that was the whole narrative. Like, we're going to get these girls drunk enough to sleep with us, and like, that was it.
But This is real life.
But this is real life.
This
I
is
know.
him in real life trying to get young girls drunk,
Yeah.
and it's like just a silly joke, like how we're pranking you.
And I was one of those girls.
Wow,
Real
you were one
life.
of those girls in real life. All right, this is nuts.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I forgot my ID.
They're
forgot
21,
your ID.
but let's just say hypothetically they don't have IDs. You will pay for the
Is this? Are you for real, brother?
Let's just say hypothetically they don't have IDs. What? Bro.
So did that work back then? Hey, brother, look the other way, huh?
Yeah, totally.
They're 15. So what?
And then we'll leave, and then we don't have to work about it.
That doesn't work for me. Okay. And ladies, how old are you?
Dude, he tells them to say 21.
That's close.
Okay, so 18. How old are you?
I'm 17.
Okay, Sarah, do me a favor. I want you to go back there. I want you to get out of here. Now, I want you to get out of here.
That's nuts. The premise of this prank is blowing my mind.
Dude, and I didn't know about this. So this got sent to me the day after I tweeted. All of a sudden, this video resurfaced. And I was watching and I'm like, this is how deep the patriarchy was reigning
Right. I
during
mean,
this time.
right.
You know, like that got approved by a network. That was a
Yes.
ha-ha funny.
And even the crazy part is even Justin Long was like, that's funny. You can put that out.
Totally. Totally. And it's them together.
Nobody
What are the odds, too? It's like,
Very
it was
true.
kind of breaking my brain.
Very true.
It broke my brain.
My favorite Ashton Kutcher prank was when he tried to convince his good friends to go to Jeffrey Epstein's island.
No.
No, I'm kidding. But like that, we're gonna get on a flight with my friend Epstein. They call it the Lolita Express. You guys want to go?
Stop.
Everyone's like, yeah, dude, I know about him.
Dude, who were the celebrities?
Who would they be? Justin
yeah,
Long.
who would they be? Yeah, Justin
Justin
Slong.
Long. Justin Schlong.
Justin Long Dong. Yeah, he so you kind of know what I'm dealing with now at this point.
Very much.
Okay. So that's where I'm at. She, eventually comes out. We all start drinking. They even make some kind of jokes about our age. I remember Jonah at one point being like, "Can you even drink this?" Like, and he was like pulling it away and then like put it back to me. And so it was like a joke that we were underage.
They knew. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Clearly,
definitely.
he was sitting like they can't even deny it after that clip.
No, you can't.
He was just sitting with
Yes.
girls in a public setting and trying to get them alcohol.
I mean, hypothetically.
Hypothetically, of course.
Just hypothetically.
Dude, she never got the alcohol. What do you want?
Just hypothetically. So yeah. So anyways, hypothetically, I was there drinking with them and they're making jokes. And then at one point I wanted a cigarette. And I didn't obviously have one because I couldn't buy one legally. So Jonah ends up saying, I have cigs, but they're in my car. And I was like, okay. And I thought he was going to go and get it. And he was like, I don't really want to go all alone, if you know what I mean. Come with me. And I remember just being like, all right, whatever. I trust, I don't think anything what could possibly fucking happen, between here and the Prius with Jonah Hill. And so we went downstairs, see his Prius. The American Spirits, I remember, were in the front seat. And he grabbed them. And then we were walking awkwardly back to the door. And I remember saying hey, can I have one? Because we're outside. And he didn't say anything. He just slams me across the door. I'll never forget it. Because you don't forget these things. He slammed me across the door and he just put his tongue right in my mouth. And it was I just remember it moving around. It was really intense. And I just remember being startled and kind of just grossed out. And I tried to push him away. And I did actually, he did end up backing away. And I remember turning around and running upstairs. And the guy who I first found up there was weirdly was the emo dude from Wedding Crashers. I loved that movie at the time. So I remembered him. And I remember just having a conversation with him, just kind of I think he was married at the time. I think even his wife was there. They were like the only people. That's just where things started getting fuzzy. Like obviously I was drinking, but I remember him, and I think his wife was there, and it was Justin, and it was Jonah, and it was Togo, and it was my underage friend. And that was a story that I honestly, my husband knows this story. It was like a story I told a lot of people, honestly. And it throughout time, like when you're a survivor, you start putting them kind of on like a list of most traumatic, least traumatic. When you're going to therapy, you have all these things, but they're starting to create like an order to things. And Jonah was just one that I just never thought I was ever going to tell that story publicly. Honestly, it wasn't something that I felt the need to really go out and tell the world that story. But when I woke up to Sarah's brave screen captures of the experience that she had with him, it immediately triggered me. And when you get triggered a little bit, it's a little bit impulsive, and I got triggered, and I was like, I know that no one else is coming forward about anything about him right now, and I wanted to do that to like support her. And I didn't even know if anyone was going to see it. Honestly, I really did not think anyone was going to notice. It was going to get buried, I thought, in all the tweets
and
about him and boundaries.
How did you process that at the time when he did that to you? Was that kind of a normal thing for you to happen, or was that even out of the ordinary?
Honestly, man, like I've been assaulted so many times in the industry. It's sad. So it was pretty normal. It was pretty normal, but it definitely stood out in my brain. And I remember being angry and like emotionally, like I felt like a boundary was crossed. To speak Jonah's language, a boundary felt like it was crossed. And that's how I felt. I wasn't, you don't call the cops. Like it wasn't that kind of era. First of all, like they would be like, why the fuck are you out at 15? And like, then your mom's going to be super upset. It was just, you're a teenager. So you're just put into a situation where the only thing to do is just quickly process it. And then, you end up really processing it as an adult in therapy later on, which is what's been happening to me now in my 30s.
Did you guys talk at all after that at the party, or?
No, I stayed away. I did not like him. Yeah, I didn't like that. He didn't apologize to me. And that was also just pretty upsetting. He didn't say anything about anything else that he was accused of. And then he gets Marty Singer. Dude, if you're going to choose any lawyer to defend you, just don't have it be the guy who defended like Danny Masterson or whatever his name
Marty
is.
Singer.
Yeah.
That's so funny that you mentioned his name. I won't say why.
Oh, yeah, he
I
gets
probably
around.
shouldn't. Or maybe I should.
Yeah, maybe you
who
should.
cares?
Who cares?
But I don't want to be wrong here. Let me make sure.
Yeah, be right.
Okay, here, let me get this right.
Otherwise.
Marty Singer, Colleen Ballinger.
No, it's his friend. They work
Andrew
together
Brettler
sometimes.
is Colleen.
Oh, so wait, okay, Andrew Brettler. Brettler?
Yes.
So these guys, okay, because I thought that Andrew Brettler reps some of those people you mentioned.
He does. And
They're partners?
If you Google Marty Singer and Andrew, whatever the hell his last name is, you'll see photos of them together.
Marty Singer and Andrew Brettler.
Oh, yeah. They're quite the duo.
Named to Hollywood Reporter's Power Lawyer list.
It's giving the Harvey Weinstein Kavanaugh pick. That is
Okay,
so what it's giving.
listen. Everybody needs a lawyer. You know what I mean? I as a profession, lawyers are scumbags. They're all scumbags. The good ones and the bad ones. What do you want?
Agreed. But my grandpa went to Harvard and he was a lawyer. And I'll never forget what he said. He said he was a criminal lawyer, criminal defense lawyer. And he said, I'll represent anyone but a rapist.
Interesting.
And I'll never forget that he said that. So there is a choice.
He had a line.
He had a line. He had a line.
Now, I think you could say hypothetically about Andrew Brettler and Marty Singer.
Yeah.
That hypothetically, they don't have that line.
They do not.
But I don't know that for sure because I don't know the guilt or innocence of his clients and stuff. But certainly some of his clients are accused of that.
Well, Danny was convicted, right?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
so then they do defend rapists
They do.
because he was convicted. He went to jail.
Correct.
So I think
yeah,
it is
exactly.
fair to say that Andrew Brettler and Marty Singer defend rapists.
Correct. Yeah, I would agree with you. I'm not going to debate on that.
Let me just make sure. Andrew.
Allegedly.
What was his name?
Allegedly, hypothetically.
What was the guy's name from the Scientology rapist guy from the 90s?
Danny Masterson.
Yeah, Danny Masterson, Mr. Rapey.
Oh, that's
Danny Raperson.
Danny Raperson. Yeah, that's his real name, legal name.
That's his government. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on his ID now.
Let's see. Okay, so her attorney is Andrew Brettler. So I don't know if if Marty Singer. Now I wonder, does Marty Singer have any affiliation with Bryan Singer? Are they brothers?
Oh my God! You know what?
Because they have the same last name.
Circle. They're all in the same circle, dude. They're all in the same circle. I wouldn't be surprised if
Bryan
they were
Singer
related.
and Marty Singer. Are they? Because I just want to get my facts straight.
I feel like their streams have crossed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. They so,
No.
okay. Okay, this is all very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and
It's a small
allegedly,
circle.
and I'll say this. I don't know nothing about nobody.
Yeah, neither do
Those
I.
lawyers, I don't know nothing about them.
Yeah.
Bryan Singer, never met the guy, never read anything about him. So everything I'm saying right now is comedy, it's parody, and
Satire.
also I don't know anything about anything. I literally am the dumbest person alive. I'm a goldfish.
Good call.
You're a goldfish?
I have no memory. I have no thoughts. I don't know anything about anybody. Nobody takes what I say seriously.
You're an impressive goldfish. I didn't realize I was having a conversation with a goldfish
Huh?
this entire time.
What?
Oh, is this Dory?
Say it again? Yeah. By the way, this is not real, right, Cam? You're fucking with me?
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's a parody image.
Yo,
I
was
don't
that?
know. I'm a goldfish.
Yo,
This
we're
is not
all
a real image. I
goldfish.
think we need to say that.
This is not a real image.
Yeah, that's a Photoshop.
It's two real
Parody.
images
yeah,
photoshopped together.
yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't really look that Photoshop to me. Okay. I wouldn't have been that shocked by that photo if it was
It
real.
would be good. So okay, so Jonah Hill.
Yeah, Marty Singer.
Yeah, you're coming out really, I feel like gave a lot of weight to his ex-girlfriend's original account.
Yeah, because what I saw there first of all, that was really awesome what she did there, just because I've been emotionally abused in relationships before, but I'll put like the really, really bad physical assaults or, the sexual abuse, obviously in my brain more ahead of the emotional abuse. And like the emotional abuse isn't something that I necessarily I don't know, put a lot of weight to sometimes. And when I saw her put weight to it and want to like it to be validated, that really put a lot into perspective for me personally. And I thought that was pretty badass that she did that, because when I was reading those text messages, what maybe people don't understand if you're like not a survivor of an abuser is that when he was giving those boundaries, that power dynamic, first of all, I think they're like 10 years apart or whatever. So there's already like an age difference there. But also you love this individual. Your brain chemistry is all like oxytocined out. And you have this person basically telling you that all the things that make you you, he doesn't like those about you.
Right.
And
she was that person when he met her.
right. And so all of a sudden you start to be like, are these things not lovable about me? Should I change, these things? So when she came forward, what I saw as a survivor was, I think when we come forward as survivors, we're looking for validation because we've been so gaslit that we want to hear, like, can you please tell me if I'm wrong or right? Like I don't know anymore. That's how it fucks with your head so deeply that people don't realize that. Like a lot of survivors subconsciously are coming forward, I believe, because they just need to know what's happening to them or what happened to them. And that's why we go to therapy, like you go to therapy to like understand what happened to you pretty much or to process it. And I think coming forward is a very similar experience. It's just not in a room with one individual. It's a lot more intense. But you want the validation, basically. And so I saw her wanting that validation. And I know what that feels like because I've come forward before. And it's scary.
Yeah.
And especially when you're a female, people are like,
Get someone rich and
they-
famous.
yeah.
It's not
And then you got
easy.
all these bot bros, like bots that just go to town on you, and make, give you death threats, etc.
Right.
I know how it goes.
So can I ask
yeah.
you something?
Yeah.
A lot of people I saw online saying this, and I can't lie, this was my first reaction, although I've totally come around. This is not how I feel now.
Okay.
But reading the text message, a lot of people saw that and said, yes, he's a douche, but he's setting his boundaries and expectations very clear. And so if she can't reach, so how is it abuse if he's saying these are my expectations, and if you can't reach that, then let's just break up?
Because it's very manipulative, because you don't know what all the experiences that have led up to now this list of boundaries. Most likely he's been doing other tactics that have messed with her sanity, to be quite honest with you. From what I read, they were also going to couples therapy. There was already this going on.
Actually, one other thing I read that really made me turn on him, their therapist was his like best friend that he was like doing a project with. I think he was working with a therapist who was like his best buddy. It was like so fucked up in that sense. Can you fact check that, somebody? I know I read something about that.
Yeah. Well, see, there's also, my abuser did to me too. And it ended up backfiring on him, actually. He tried to get me into therapy. Every time I tried to leave him, I was crazy. And I was, my self-worth was very low. I didn't want real love. And so he put me in therapy, and the therapist ended up being like, you got to leave.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that's how I got out of there.
Good for them.
That's how I escaped. So it worked out. But anyways, if it's not that, like the mediation experience, though, that happened in my divorce was the opposite of that. It was basically like a Sarah Brady situation where it wasn't neutral, and a lot of bad things ended up happening to me in that mediation because no one was looking out for my best interest. So I believe that, like, that's pretty scary. But the thing is, like, you don't know what was happening around that conversation and what led up to that list of boundaries. To me, when I read that, I didn't really see a man saying he's crazy or taking any type of accountability. I saw him kind of putting her down and putting him up. Like, this is what I want to know. This is the kind of woman I need and what I want. And you just don't measure up. So if you're not going to measure up, then you can't have me. That's like how I felt it. And I've felt that before by abusive men, is that they use these you almost don't even catch it. Like, it's so smooth almost. But if you reread it a few times, you'll be like, oh, he's putting her down. He's putting her down and he's putting him up. Like, I don't really like a woman who like surfs with men. And like, I'm pretty chill. Like, I have my shit together. So, and you're just like, ugh.
Okay. So I mean, yeah, the text is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of everything else that's going on.
Correct. I just think that was a symptom that was just part of many other things that were obviously going on behind closed doors with them, or in conversations. And I mean, she obviously felt very charged to, release those messages. And so most of the time when that happens, like, that person's really asking for the world to validate that, they're not crazy. Because that's what abusers really make you feel like. I mean, it took me many, I had to process my abuse during my first pregnancy, and it was really rough. Like, even there's some days I sometimes wake up, is that how it's so fucked. Honestly, like, it takes a lot of willpower to really get yourself out of the manipulation that's very subtle and slowly happens over a period of time.
So I'm seeing here that Jonah Hill made a documentary with his therapist about some like specific type of therapy they developed, which sounds like super pseudo-sciencey, like lame shit. And I think that it was the same therapist they were doing couples counseling with, but I don't know if it was. Yeah, I don't know if it was. So don't quote me on that. Also, allegedly, I don't know nothing. I'm a goldfish.
I'm going to start saying I'm a goldfish.
I don't know anything. I
You
think
think a woman
it
could
might
get away
play
with the
well. I think it
goldfish?
might play well with the judge.
Do you think a woman could get away with the goldfish thing? I don't know.
So I want to, I guess, let's see. Brady's text also mentions separate couples therapist.
So it was a different one according to the text.
Okay, it was a different one. Okay.
Okay.
So
I'm sure it was recommended though by this guy.
although his therapist is like his best homie, who's probably just validating all of his psychotic tendencies.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I wanted to ask you about one other person that you had mentioned on social media recently, Seth MacFarlane of Family Guy fame.
Yeah. I'm not ready. I'm like can't do it now. But,
Okay, fair enough.
But I meant what I said. You know, I definitely meant what I said. And I said things earlier too that nobody really listened to. Like, I don't know, November of last year.
What
I
did
was, like,
you? Are you
triggered.
comfortable repeating what you already said, or I mean, you don't? I'm not going to pressure you at all. We can move right past it.
Yeah, no, it's already on. It's on Twitter. I don't even know if I deleted all of them per se, but I was like pretty triggered. And you know, all I gotta say is like just know or look into, you know, how many rape jokes that guy wrote over there as well. Like if you think Punked makes those guys, you know, look like whatever, like definitely check out Family Guy's rape jokes.
Wow.
There's
a lot of them.
There are a lot of them, and he plays the voice of one of them, of what, you know, Quagmire. And
Right.
yeah,
Who is there? Super funny, actual, just like straight up, like racist, sexual, or not racist. I mean, rapist, sexual, a predator, Quagmire.
yeah, Predator.
It is. I always
Yeah,
thought it
yeah.
was odd how they portray Quagmire. It's like this dude is like a rapist.
Yeah. Yeah, he even admits at one point. I'm pretty positive there's an episode where he's like, "I'm a rapist" to Peter or whatever.
So I don't. So the Zoe 101 reunion is happening tomorrow, and as I understand, you weren't invited to that.
No.
Did you find that
Neither was
odd?
Dan though. No, neither was Dan though. So...
Well, that makes more sense to me. That they can't find him. They couldn't even find him to get. You know what I mean?
No, he's in Thailand. He's
Yeah.
in Thailand. No, I wasn't invited. Actually, I'm airing my E Predators daily show tomorrow, talking a little bit about it. I'm like, that's a good day to air this while I'm about to give birth. I'll just like do it on the same day that I was once again uninvited. But it's okay.
Did it surprise you that you weren't invited?
It more surprised me when they had a reunion. Like I thought maybe when we were getting close to 30 that we've like moved past some of this.
Right.
And that was more shocking to me. Like the reboot, whatever. But this is, I don't know if I mentioned this part, but what was really messed up was I came forward once again about them basically bullying me throughout the entire show. And right after they did the whole reunion thing, Jamie ends up reaching out to me with this fake apology. And I was like, I think I was 7 months pregnant around that time with Nova. And she sends me this long thing. And then at the end of it, she wants something from me, of course. So it was like this apology, like, oh, let bygones be bygones. And then at the end, it said, will you be in my music video? This
What?
like
Why would
Zoe...
she want? That's crazy.
Yeah. It was very weird. And I obviously was like, no, I said it nicely though. I was like, thank you so much for inviting me. But no, like I'm going into like birth soon. I'm going on my baby moon or whatever. And I just made up a bunch of like real excuses, but also excuses to not be a part of that. And fast forward, I thought everything was chill, to be honest with you. I just thought, okay, Jamie finally, at least she did apologize, even if it wasn't totally genuine. At least I got a text message from her and I'll take it. And then a few months later, she messages me, and this is right around the time Brittany came forward her testimony about what she went through. And I remember being like, oh my God, Jamie Lynn Spears is, you know, I just, whatever. I was like, oh my God, she's still like this. And I was trying to process it. And then she texted me and said, can I send you something? And I was like, I don't want you to know where I live. I'm kidding. But like a little bit, I was like, I don't want to give you my address. And I don't know what you're sending me. Why don't you tell me what you're sending me? And then the next day, I find out that Jamie's book is about to get released. And I'm like, was she trying to send me her freaking book? And I was like, wait, what the hell? And then I get all these messages. The book leaked, and she just told mad lies about me in the book that she was trying to send to me.
Was it like defamatory shit? What did she say about you?
She basically did the whole Darvo effect thing where she like just turned everything as if it was me bullying her on set. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Do you ever consider taking action or something?
No, I'm so exhausted with these people. There's only so much action I could do. Even right now, I'm doing action at 9 months pregnant, and like maybe some doctors wouldn't recommend it.
Well, the good news is I don't think anybody read that book.
No, I don't think so. And the ones that did, it leaked.
Yeah, nobody wanted it. Nobody read it.
No, but I did get told. So that's when I came forward about even more so. I was like, Jamie, what the hell is this? Like, were you trying to send me and I would have appreciated if she just told me also like, hey, I wrote this book and this is how I feel. Like, can we hash some things out? Like, this is my memory. Can we talk about I would have loved an actual conversation, like what normal people do, you know? But instead it was her just sending me, allegedly, hypothetically maybe, this book that had all these lies about me in it.
That is very interesting.
It was so sad.
Yeah, very.
It was so
She's
sad.
a nobody now, I'm pretty sure, right? She's just the girl that tried to steal her sister's money. Isn't that right?
Right, and she has her Paramount Plus show that comes out
does?
tomorrow. The Zoe
It's a
102.
movie.
Wait, they're making a new one?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the world has no new ideas.
Did nobody ask for Zoe? Well, by the way, I looked up how many seasons of Zoe 101 there were. There's only 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So you were like a main star for 2 of those 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So
but apparently it wasn't enough.
Excluding you from the reunion seems pretty intentional.
Definitely. It's okay though. It's okay because, you know, honestly, I've learned like I don't really want to be near, you know, if you're not going to value me as a person, like I don't need to be, you know, hanging. It's okay. Like I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't want to hang out with you, you know, so it's fair now. We both don't want to hang out with each other at least.
Wait, the show, there was only 4 seasons because Jamie got pregnant when she was 16?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No comment.
Allegedly. Jamie denies that.
And who's the father? Dan Schnatt? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
There's that whole
Jamie
God,
denies her firstborn.
There's a lot of rumors. There's like fake conspiracy theories all about that. Of course, because the
16,
internet.
that's pretty young. Holy smokes.
Yeah, it was pretty. That's a big experience for a 16